Today, as my first movie to review on this channel, I chose a special little film from 1986. I believe I saw it for the first time quite possibly 19 or 20 years ago on VHS. As you already figured it out, I am talking about Stuart Gordon's From Beyond, starring Jeffrey Combs, Barbara Crampton and Ken Foree. The script, loosely based on H.P. Lovecraft's novel, was adapted and co-written by Brian Yuzna. After the success of 1985 Re-Animator, the horror dream team consisting of Stuart Gordon, again on director's chair with Jeffrey Combs and Barbara Crampton on the screen, Brian Yuzna as the co-writer/producer, and of course the spirit of Howard Phillips Lovecraft, whose literature Gordon proved to be able to reimagine and reshape to tell in his own unique way. The plot of From Beyond revolves around a mysterious device called the Resonator. It was created by eccentric scientist Edward Pretorius, played by Ted Sorrell. A machine designed to allow him to see what is impossible to perceive on our physical plane of existence thanks to the pineal gland stimulation. During one of the tests done by his assistant Crawford Hillinghurst, played by Combs, the machine is actually starting to work. Dr. Pretorius is absolutely, well, overwhelmed and exhilarated by its effects on him. Maybe a bit too overwhelmed. Not for too long though, because experiment goes wrong when creatures inhabiting this alternative reality killed Pretorius by literally biting his head off. As a result, Crawford is arrested and locked in a mental institution where he is taken into custody by Dr. Catherine McMichaels, portrayed by Barbara Crampton. She actually believes Crawford and convinces him to recreate the experiment in Dr. Pretorius' laboratory. They are joined by Detective Baba. So they return to the place where it all happened. Upon second activating of the resonator, Dr. Pretorius is making his big comeback, as he became one with the creature that tried to eat him. At this point he still looks relatively human-like, and trust me on this one because the effects and makeup guys are really going places in this one later on. After that the crazy meter goes up very fast. Dr. McMichaels develops some kind of unhealthy fascination with this experiment and is determined to continue investigating it. So this time she and Ted Sorrell's Pretorius are characters closer to Combs' Herbert West from Re-Animator, while Tillinghast is trying to be the reasonable one, always hesitant to activate Resonator again. Movie touches on interesting concepts of not only obsession of power, but also about pushing the boundaries of physical experience, achieving intense pleasure, going way beyond of what is considered to be a social norm. We discover in more details the kinky side of Dr. Pretorius and, well...
this guy was into some weird shit.
You said it best, Baba. The other thing is the ability to look beyond the reality that we are experiencing on day-to-day basis. To be able to connect with this parallel universe, to be able to touch something that might be always around us but we can't see it, limited by our senses. Another obsession of our thrill-seeker Mr. Pretorius. It's like he experiences one thing and then it quickly becomes not enough stimulating for him and he wants something more extreme, crossing some boundaries along the way that shouldn't be crossed.
No, I want to see more. More than any man has ever seen.
I don't want to make it sound like From Beyond is some kind of deeply psychological horror, because it's not. It's still, first and foremost, a fantastic piece of cheesy and campy fun from the 80s. But it's nice touches like that makes it a bit more special and adds some depth to the story. You can't talk about From Beyond without mentioning amazing practical special effects. I always appreciate those because they require so much creativity to pull off and look believable. This is some real craftsmanship and art form in itself. Throughout the movie we get to see Dr. Pretorius literally shape-shifting into more and more disgusting and terrifying creature. Even though not all of the effects holds up today, they are still more memorable than any CGI could. I also liked how the colors changes to oversaturated red whenever they access this hellish dimension. I know that Re-Animator is enjoying a status of much bigger and more popular cult classic among horror fans, but for me personally From Beyond was always more impactful and unforgettable. It might be partially due to the fact that I saw it earlier than Re-Animator. This is the actual Polish VHS copy that I saw all those years ago, and funny enough the movie managed to terrify me before I even saw it thanks to the over-the-top descriptions on the box. One of them says, "Think twice before you rent this movie," or "This is not a horror, it's a macabre and inaccessible by human imagination." I know how ridiculous and clickbaity it sounds, but Back then it was enough to make me think that this is some new level of cinematic terror and that this is something that I shouldn't watch, which of course made it even more interesting.
Humans are such easy prey. Let her go! Oh, I will. Beyond her wildest dreams.
What's interesting, Yuzna and Gordon 3 years later have written a script for Honey, I Shrunk the Kids with Rick Moranis, a bit different take on a mad scientist subgenre, if you will. So From Beyond has it all. There is this sinister vibe, fear of the unknown, some unnecessary nudity, sleazy monsters, dark humor thrown here and there, intentionally or not.
You ate him. Bit off his head. Like a gingerbread man.
80s campiness and one-of-a-kind atmosphere. It is a cult classic for a reason, after all.
That will be quite enough of that.
Hi, my name is Marek. Thank you for watching my review of From Beyond. If you liked it and if you would like to see more, don't forget to hit subscribe. I'll see you next time.